So welcome everyone to our 20 minutes pop-up for this week, and we will be talking about healthy heart and some awesome hints and information. I'm going to share some fun things with you to help you focus on healthy heart. So we're going to start off with watching a short video. All right, so we're just for the next 20 minutes, we're going to go over just some general information about healthy heart. Then some of our team members here are going to share some stories and information about our products, the Shaklee products that support healthy heart. And then another quick video at the end, and we'll take it into a Q&A after that. So if it's once the 20 minutes are up, we always invite you to stay for the Q&A afterwards. But if you need to leave, of course, we understand. We appreciate your time and value your time. So we're going to keep it to the 20 minutes. All the information that we share here is just information. If you have any major health issues, please consult with your physician, because it's not meant what we share is not meant to help treat, diagnose, or cure any or prevent any kind of disease. Healthy Heart this month is, I don't know if they intentionally made it Valentine's month and Healthy Heart all at the same time, but that's one way to remember it. And we want to bring awareness, and that's the whole point with our pop-ups, is to bring awareness to the forefront. So our heart works for us, and sometimes we do take it for granted. We don't realize how hard it works for us, or we don't think much about it. And to think about how much it beats and how many gallons of blood that it actually pumps throughout our body to bring oxygen to all of our tissues. And the idea is to really make you think about how incredible this small muscle compared to the whole body is doing for us. The cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in the entire world except for Africa, which I thought that was really interesting as I was pulling this information together. But when you think about in the US alone, over 2,100 people are dying because of that disease. It kind of puts things in perspective. And more people are dying from heart disease compared to cancer even. So I have a passion for sharing that information to have us not to be scared and not to be, bringing bad news, but it's I totally believe through awareness we can do something about it. And there is something that we can do about it. There are all different types of heart disease that just to be aware of, so you can also look at the signs of what to look out for, so you can make sure you catch it early. And then this was something that we kind of had a discussion through texting and messaging with the team about the atherosclerosis and then arteriosclerosis. I didn't try to pronounce it to the team, but there's a slight difference, and it's talking about, the plaque in our arteries compared to actually the thickening of the arteries. So again, just some information to become aware, because with information and knowledge, we're able to prevent and take action to live healthier. Some of the common types of heart conditions are the coronary heart disease, stroke, hypertension, and heart failure. And one of the things that you might probably have heard about before is to look for signs so you can get help fast. And one of the things about stroke is that if you have the face is uneven, one arm is hanging down, speech is kind of slurred, then make sure that you get help, and at least make sure that it's nothing serious. And then the cost on us because of cardiovascular disease is just huge. When you think about that, over 329 billion annually. I mean, it's a big chunk, and it's something that we can prevent. And that's what's exciting, is to be able to help everyone to prevent that. That in America, there will be we'll have a heart attack approximately every 40 seconds. So you can think with us here together for 20 minutes, how many people are impacted. And it has to do with hospitalization and loss of work and the cost on our economy. But the good news is that you can do something about it to live healthier longer. And that's what we're about, our team. And that's why we get excited about doing the 20-minute pop-ups, is just to bring awareness and support you and help you and answer questions so you can live healthier. So are you ready?
Yes.
Get some answers. Simple things that many of us have heard before is to make sure that we are moving. We are created to move, even though our lifestyle nowadays tends to keep us behind the desk a lot and not moving as much. And you can make it fun. You can go dancing, swimming, hiking, biking. It doesn't have to always be just on the treadmill or the gym or doing the same thing. So we're also here to help you and your wellness advisor to support you to come up with some creative ideas to stay active. The Mediterranean diet has been over and over shown that it's the healthiest diet that can really support healthy heart. Lots and lots of vegetables, fresh fruits and vegetables, meats that are low in fat, and a vegetarian pizza is included in there. So you can really have some fun with it too. And then fiber is really important because it does reduce cholesterol, which will impact your heart health. And then it's really important. You can get your fiber from fruits and vegetables and cereal and grains, but taking a supplement has been known to really be important right now as well, to get that extra fiber in. And you do know that you are getting enough fiber in when there is regularity visits to the bathroom. I've talked to people where they've said, oh, I usually go about a week, maybe more, before I have a bowel movement. And I've heard and I've known, as far as my mood, if you don't go every day, then you want to kind of reconsider that, maybe add some extra fiber into your diet to help things move out. Because fiber is kind of like, my mom used to say, the roto-rooter of your gut. It kind of cleans everything out for you. So next we're going to cover, like we usually do on our papas, some of the Shaklee products that can support you in on your journey to wellness. And we have a couple of packages. One is the blood pressure regimen, and the other one is the cholesterol, which are two great bundles, but then you can get each product separately. And we're going to cover, the first one is on the Omega Guard. And what I wanted to point out here, because a lot of us are already familiar with fish oil and taking that as a supplement. But one of the things that was really a big deal to me is that it's certified sustainable, the source. So when Shaklee is creating the supplements, that they make sure they maintain a healthy supply of fish for future generations. And that was a big deal to me. That they're concerned not just about creating a pure product, but also make sure that it's sustainable and more fish are going to be available. And then the other thing is that it's pharmaceutical grade. Our fish oil includes EPA and DHA, and then the process that they use removes lead, mercury, and other toxins that can be found that the product could be contaminated with. And the pills are much smaller than a lot of other ones that are on the market. So that's a big deal for some people also, to be able to swallow them. And then I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to my BFF Ruthie to go over the next one.
Thank you, Adiba. I'm going to talk a little bit about the CoQ enzyme 10, Shaklee's CoQ Heart. It is present in every cell of the body, with the highest concentration being in the heart, liver, kidney, and lungs. And the purpose of it is to generate energy, and then it transfers it within the cells. It protects cells from oxidative damage. And the body actually produces it naturally, but the ability to produce it diminishes with age. So it's important to consider supplementing it the older we get, especially. In heart disease, brain disorders, diabetes, and cancer, those four conditions were linked to low levels of CoQ10. So it is stored in the mitochondria of the cells, and things that affect it are a B6 deficiency, genetic defects, disease, aging, and the side effects of statins. And I can speak for myself as far as like the CoQ heart has helped me with migraines. And also I know of quite a few testimonials where the CoQ heart, it not only helps with energy, but the thing about statins is that muscle pain occurs very often because the statins use up the CoQ 10, and so when you replace that, you get rid of the pain, the muscular pain in the body, and so that's a wonderful side benefit, along with getting added energy to your cells. So I will turn it over next to my BFF, Sharon.
Am I muted or no?
You're good now.
Okay. All right. This was an very interesting one to me. I noticed I have my lab results from like 20 years ago, and it has nothing to do this part about blood pressure, but my cholesterol was like 217 20 years ago, and I was looking now, it's like 193. So it constantly got better. But my blood pressure started out being 90/60, and then it went to 100/70, and now I think it's like 110/70 or something. So let me just read a little bit about what our blood pressure, what it says. It's to help retain healthy blood pressure by helping to promote healthy blood vessels and blood flow. But this is the interesting thing. If your blood pressure is slowly increasing over time, but still at a healthy level, that's me, never been told it was too high ever, that's the ideal time to add nitrates to support keeping your blood pressure in a normal range. So all these years, ever since blood pressure came out, our product blood pressure, I've been giving it to my husband because he does have high blood pressure, but it's not getting any worse at all. As a matter of fact, it's getting better, and anyway, it's getting better. But I had never taken blood pressure in my life, the Shaklee's product. So now, I mean, Adiba probably knows I take almost every single thing there is to take because I see a need. And I didn't see a need for blood pressure since I've always considered I have low blood pressure. But ever since I kind of studied up on this a couple days ago, I'm taking blood pressure, and I want to maintain my 110/70 and not go to 120 over, however that goes. I don't know. I know at one point mine was 70/40 once. So it never occurred to me to take this product. So if we want to maintain what's wonderful and good, this is a good one to maintain our blood pressure. So now I'd like to turn it over to my BFF, Billy.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the cholesterol reduction complex. And like the slide tells us, the sterols and the stanols compete with the absorption of cholesterol in our intestines. And they get in the way and prevent the real bad cholesterol from being absorbed into our bloodstream. So instead of clogging your arteries, they are eliminated with the body waste. So with this product, you get 2,000 milligrams of plant sterols and stanols daily, which is 100% recommended by the National Institute of Health. And I have a problem with cholesterol. I have for many years, and I've been taking this product, but it was only a couple of weeks ago that I found out that I'm taking it. Well, I'm not taking enough. So when you start a supplement regimen, make sure you read the label. Don't do a Billy, because I've been wasting it by not taking the amount that's recommended. I'm a firm believer, in Shaklee supplementation. So I know when I go for my follow-up in March that the numbers are going to be lower. And today I had the opportunity to watch Dr. Websterdahl. He's a nutritionist and a dietitian, and he was talking about cholesterol. And he was talking about a 8-week jump start program that's going to be headed by Shaklee. And he was talking about the foods from plants that are powerful in reducing our cholesterol. So that's something that we really need to concentrate on. And he did recommend starting with a 7-day cleanse and then graduate over to probably the pig. He didn't say the pig, but the shakes, that are going to help to lower our cholesterol. So that was pretty good information. So now we're going to show you a video entitled The Future of Health.
Thank you, Billy. Well, thank you for everyone being here. And as I was watching all this and, talking about sharing, and it's incredible because I think it was last week we were talking, maybe it was the week before, and we realized between all of us as a team, we have over 100 years of Shaklee experience and exploration and knowledge, and just amongst ourselves, which is was pretty exciting to realize how many years total we have here. And that's why we really love coming together to share with you. And as you know, everything is recorded. So if you'd like to share the information with someone later, but we've concluded the 20 minutes of a nice general overview of our topic today. And we're going to hang on to just go over some Q&A and share some other stories amongst ourselves here. If anyone has a question to start with, looking also on Facebook, we have some that are watching live. I know it's delayed on Facebook. But does anyone have any question that they would like to bring up, or a story that they can share that can be really helpful and supportive to others on this topic? Oh, some of you are muted. I do have to really mention that my blood pressure, I know for those of you that have known me for a while, is that it was going up a couple of years ago, and it really scared me. And I think the more that I got scared, I think that probably more that it went up. I started on the blood pressure supplementation, and it has been awesome. Even when I go to the dentist, of all places, because I have a tooth that I had to have an implant. They're still working on it, and every time I go now, the blood pressure is cool. I was like, man, even in your office. So that's been like a really just a good feeling to know that, because blood pressure is, they call it, I think, the silent killer, because most of the time you can't tell that you even have it. So it's really good to become aware. And that also, I don't know if anyone else feels that way, that sometimes I'm not wanting to find out, because it's almost like if I don't know, then I don't know, and maybe it'll go away. But awareness is so important. And then just finding ways to work through the concerns that you have when you find something is wrong, is how to work through them. But definitely knowing is much better, because there are some things that you can't tell is happening inside your body, and we want to prevent it. But that was a big thing. I definitely use the blood pressure supplement every day now.
I have a quick question for Billy.
Yes, ma'am.
How many cholesterol reduction complex were you taking?
Just two.
Oh,
Two, but the bottle says 2 twice a day. And
right.
I just saw the 2 and I just went with that. I didn't finish reading the dosage completely. So
Gotcha.
I think it was a couple of weeks ago when Ruth mentioned it, and I thought, taking 2, that's not. And then I read the bottle and it says, oh, 2 twice a day. So yeah, I've increased it.
I think mine's just steadily coming down, like I said, from 20 years ago or so.
But in
And
that article, excuse me. Go
I
ahead.
wasn't paying attention to it. And then I just noticed the other day when I had my lab results, and I went back and looked from 20 years ago, and I just thought, wow, it's coming down 20 some points.
Wow, that's good. I was surprised that in that article that I listened to today, he was talking about, the 200 is the threshold. And he says, but it's better to get it down to 150. And I'm like, 150? Even when I was taking medication. Huh? That's
a new
low.
goal.
Well, it's not a new goal. It was just his recommendation. The goal is 200. But
Okay.
that was, his suggestion.
Wow.
And when I was taking medication, I never got down to 150. It was like 167, and then I told the doctor, that's enough of this stuff. I'm not taking it anymore.
Good for you.
So I take this one, and this week I've been on the cleanse. So that should help too, because then I'm going to start the pick after that. So I'm kind of determined to stick with it, and then I have an appointment with the doctor in March, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that my numbers are going to be under 200. I don't care about 150, but I just want under 200.
Right.
So,
yeah,
but it was
go ahead.
It was a very interesting article, because he also said how important the B vitamins are to help you control your cholesterol or to lower it. And that's something that I wasn't aware of. I
wasn't either.
Yeah, he mentioned that. And then next week, he's going to cover the actual cholesterol reduction complex that Shaklee, has. So he didn't cover it today. He just talked about what it takes to get to lower your cholesterol and what to eat and not eat and everything. And the other thing that I didn't know is I thought chicken was okay. And he said, no, it's beef, chicken,
Not
and
with the
pork.
skin, especially.
Well, even with, without the skin, he doesn't recommend. Now, this is the lowering of the cholesterol, not maintenance. It's to lower. So he said only certain fish, preferably salmon.
Oh, okay.
So that was new to me, because I I wasn't familiar with that. I thought skinless chicken was okay, but she said no. So
Yeah, I think that the high vegetables and fruit, and you mentioned the cleanse a couple of times already, that 7-day cleanse is so powerful. I mean, it really
yeah,
gets us in such a good eating habits of more vegetables and
So what
right.
were you listening to, Billy?
It was an article on, was it Well Education?
yeah, if you go to our group, Well Education, the Facebook group, I shared that webinar in there, so you can watch it
Yeah.
on there.
Okay.
It's only
all right.
like maybe 30 minutes, but it's very informative.
Right. Yeah, I'll go listen to that.
Yeah,
And
that's
he tells you right off the bat, he's not a doctor. His title is a doctor. He's a certified nutritionist and dietitian, but he's not like your traditional
He's like a
medical.
PhD doctor, but not a real
Yeah,
medical
yeah.
doctor.
MD.
Like maybe like Steve Cheney.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
And
it
that's
was
why we do these pop-ups, because there's so much information, and our goal is to just share and bring the thought to the forefront so we can learn more, and like Bill is sharing that webinar, and resources that we can help each other, because there's so much to learn. I mean, we're discovering, science is discovering so much. And sometimes I hear people's like, well, today it's this and tomorrow is that. For me, what I feel is important is that to realize, yeah, we're learning a lot, and do what you can today. As long as I continuously really think about what can I do today to really live well, and try not to let all this new information overwhelm us. And one of the great resources, because of the integrity of the company Shaklee and the scientists there, that I get a lot of good information from them. And then you also, through them and other people within Shaklee, we have resources like the one that Billy watched today. I haven't watched it yet. I knew it was coming up. But I think that, just find a community, and that's what we're kind of envisioning with these pop-ups, is creating a community that's safe, that we can share with each other, so we can be better informed, and then that gives us, power and inspiration to live well. But the Well Education, we're working hard on creating a lot of good resources for you, so you can have a central point also to connect.
When you asked me to talk about blood pressure, I thought, oh gosh, that's kind of boring to me because I don't even use that product. And now that was so enlightening to me.
And now you're going to start using it more.
Oh, I've started, yeah.
It's funny that you say that, because pretty much every week when each of us is sharing, because we kind of highlight one product, is that I'm learning also from you guys. It's like, oh wow, so we're doing our own research. So in a selfish way, we're all learning even beyond what we already know, just because we're taking the time to dig deeper so we can share it with you guys. So,
I was actually going to say as well that I don't currently take any of the Shaklee products for cholesterol or heart health. But, something that Sharon just said in the pop-up, just for even maintaining, there's a history of high cholesterol and high blood pressure with my mom and my dad. So, at what point do I need to start thinking of being just proactive, and maybe I do need to start taking that, like you said, like just to maintain it, before there's even anything that comes up or an issue arises, and trying to treat it. So yes, like you said, Adiba, I take plenty of other Shaklee supplements, but that could be something that I should have on my outlook, on my horizon, because it is something that is, in my family that could be an issue for me further down the road.
Yeah.
I think without it, your whatever cholesterol, any of that, it's going to get a little worse each year. But with it, it'll get a little better each year.
Yeah. exactly.
Yeah, isn't it funny how we spend time on taking care of our skin and like maybe working out to look because like it's things that we can see, but the important part is what's going on inside because you know we do age
Hmm.
every minute, every
Unfortunately, yeah.
but you know, but there's so much that we can do to prevent so many things. And when you think about how much we're trying to, and not to compare it exactly, but you know, to think of what's going on with the virus now, and because we worry about how many people are dying because of it. And then at the same time, when I was looking at the number of how many people are having heart attacks and how many people are dying every day, like over 2,000 people, and this is something that I can prevent, then, you know, what is it that I can do to really prevent that? There is so much, I mean, so much. We just have to have that shift in thinking, you know, and we talked a lot. I know that Sharon talked about, you know, enjoying the fresh vegetables now, different ones since you've done the cleanse, and because we get away from that. But if we start making that shift and really making the connection of, you know, every time I eat this or take that or do this, it's helping me internally, even though if I can't see it, then that shift in our thinking is so powerful. And, you know, and for generations to come, you know, that, you know, we can make that shift for us, but then that's going to be passed on as well. So it is really powerful to hop on here and share all these stories.
Well,
Learn from each
Angela,
other.
I know heart health is important to you. Did you do you have anything to share that could help us or
Well, I was just curious to know what Billy was watching because I do want to go back and listen to that because I'm, you know, the little piece of information like taking the B vitamins also helps with controlling cholesterol. I didn't know that, although I do take that. And I
Yeah.
take the CoQ10 and the omega supplement. I haven't been taking the blood pressure supplement, but I should add that because that also is in my mother's family history too. So that's just an interesting, you know, a different perspective on it. Take it to maintain where you are as opposed to just not take it and, you know, end up with the high blood pressure.
Yeah. And it's interesting. The first thing that came to mind when you were talking about the B complex is stress. Because, you know, we call it the happy vitamin. So I wonder, it'll be interesting to find out if it has anything to do with the stress level in the body, because the bees gives you the energy. So, because you know, I know that I've heard somewhere where, you know, stress can cause, you know, heart issues and
Sure.
cholesterol can go up and, you know, heart blood pressure and like it's all in a way, everything is connected, right? But the B complex, when you said that, that's the first thing that popped in my mind is stress. So, you know, I take the stress relief complex as well. And that could be another thing that contributed to evening out my blood pressure. And also not being around certain people that cause my blood pressure to go up.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
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 One of the issues
Another,
that he covered, I'm sorry, Ruthie, go ahead.
oh, that's all right.
I was going to say that one of the interesting things that he covered was, you know, how we say it's in my family, you know, it's family history, the cholesterol and the blood pressure. And he said, don't let your doctor convince you that you're going to have it because it's in the history. He says, have him do additional tests because hereditary is not always, you know, the reason why you have it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he says, kind of, you know,
Right.
make him do further testing, you know, to find that out. And the other interesting thing too was that he said children as young as 3 years old can start having cholesterol problems simply by the diet. He didn't say McDonald's, but he said that fast food restaurant that gives you the toys and all that. So we know that's McDonald's, right? But he said as young as 3 years old, and I'm going, that's scary, you know, for a child that young to, I mean, they don't know because you don't feel it, but you know, it's something to really consider, you know, when we're going through the drive-through, you know, for our kids.
Yeah.
So,
Ever
I know
since
it one time. Oh, go ahead.
ever since I started getting into Shaklee, when I would go into McDonald's and see a little 1 or 2 year old sitting there with a high chair and the French fries, and it breaks your heart because, you know, they're just victims.
I know at one time doctors were talking about putting everybody on cholesterol reduction.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
it's-
cholesterol reduction.
No,
you
no,
mean-
no. I mean the medication,
the medicine.
statins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
that is scary. That's very
is.
scary because of, you know, the damage it can do to other things as well, the
Right.
side effects.
Mhm.
But you had mentioned the omega-3s, and I know that they are contributing to lowering cholesterol as well. I tend towards higher cholesterol, and I found that very interesting about the chicken, Billy, because
Yeah.
I don't eat
Oh,
any
you
red
watched it too?
meat.
You watched that too?
No, just from what Billy had said. I am getting ready to watch it though. It's on
think
my
we all-
list. But I went on, I upped my omegas for a month, and I lowered my cholesterol by 30 points in
In a
that.
month?
Oh, wow.
In a month.
gosh.
Yeah. I
So
was
much of-
taking
How much
9
omega?
She
9
takes
omegas.
1 bottle a day.
That's good to know.
The whole bottle.
Just 9.
Nine.
9 a
9
day?
a day. Mhm.
Like 3, 3, and 3 or something?
Yeah.
And then one of the ways that Shaklee process this also helps cut down on the fishy taste. But I heard one solution, I'm not sure if I heard it on one of our pop-ups or maybe even longer than that ago, is if you put them in the refrigerator, they seem not to repeat on you as at all or as much. Because some people, it doesn't bother me, like I don't taste it, but some people say they still get that fishy taste. You know, that kind of comes back. But if you put it in the freezer for some reason, I heard that trick from someone. If
Freezer or refrigerator?
Freezer.
Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
work with a guy that would put them in the freezer at work
Huh.
and would take them
That's-
from there. Yeah.
That's-
Doesn't seem like it'd be that healthy for the product, but I don't know.
yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that was one of
That's
the
good to know.
hard.
That would be something interesting to ask Shaklee, because I would be hesitant to freeze them unless I knew it was, because you know, once you freeze something, it doesn't seem as good.
Well,
like,
they don't get
if we-
solid, do they?
Yeah, but like if you buy a
Because they're in oil.
hamburger and freeze it, it's just not as good as it is fresh. And I don't know. I would want to be sure with Shaklee first.
Yeah, I mean, we can share it if it impacts it. I know someone one time asked Dr. Daggy about the vitalized immunity, the fizzy vitamin C. I remember one of the first questions they asked him at Shaklee was, you know, can you put it in hot water? Because people were also thinking, oh, if it's hot water, it's going to destroy some of the goodness. But he was like, no, you can drink it hot or cold. So sometimes, yeah, you just don't know. But
Dusk.
Well,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
consider that products have to be shipped in all kinds of weather,
Hi,
so
Angela.
they're you know, made to withstand all weather conditions too.
yeah.
I'm thinking
But they
especially
go all
now
out
going,
not to use heat to make them. So
right.
Yeah, I mean, we can
But they've
ask.
always said the product is just fine, you know, in the weather, in all different weathers.
Huh.
So that would include the,
I always worry about it when it comes and the box is hot. I guess I can quit worrying.
Yes. So you can bring your blood, I
Yeah.
mean, your cholesterol, blood pressure down, or cholesterol, whatever. So,
I
well, we're
just
gonna,
never imagined needing blood pressure, the product. But my dad did have high blood pressure.
oh yeah, and speaking of that is, how the, Billy was, I think it was, yeah, it was Billy talking about, that he said, just because your family has it, someone
Right.
with it doesn't mean you would too. And I believe I also heard it's like a very tiny fraction, a percentage that you would get it for sure.
It's probably your lifestyle. I mean, because if you
Yes.
grow up in that lifestyle, you may continue that lifestyle.
Yeah,
And the
because
That's
lifestyle,
true.
Develop
Yeah.
habits, the
And the
eating
other-
habits.
yeah, because my
You know.
parents, I don't have any blood pressure history in my family, and then mine went up. So it goes either way too, just because
Right.
your family was super healthy, it doesn't mean it's not going to impact you, because a lot of it is what we are exposed to, and the lifestyle that we're in. Let me wrap it up for Facebook. I don't think anyone else is on there. I'm going to
No.
take it off of Facebook, and then we
my Facebook friends.
say bye.
Bye.
Thanks for hopping on.